Hello, good evening, happy Sunday. I'm kind of excited for this topic, and this one of my very dearest friends, my girl Tara. We are like twins. However, you guys, I want to give you a disclaimer that this is also going to be a pretty heavy topic. But it needs to be discussed. It needs to be talked about. I do have a trigger warning at the bottom because it's a rough conversation, but we are in a epidemic. And we're going to talk mental health and we're going to talk suicide. It's Suicide Awareness Month. And I'm bringing on some people to share some stories and to share some hope and some healing because the statistics, you guys, are staggering, absolutely staggering. But I wanted to bring my friend Tara. She's also very passionate. We are both survivors, I call it, of suicide, not because maybe either one of us had an attempt, but because we had people that we love and care about that died by suicide. And it's affected both of us in tremendous ways. It's given us a passion and a mission that maybe we otherwise wouldn't have got involved in had we not experienced it, had we not gone through it. And still, I still carry a lot of feelings around the day, around all of those things. So Tara, welcome.
Hi, baby.
Welcome. I changed everything up today. Victory has a voice because I really, truly believe there's such a huge stigma attached to suicide and mental health that people don't talk about it. People are afraid to talk about it. People are afraid to be real and to be honest. They're afraid to be a burden. They're afraid to be judged and all the things. So I want you to share your story. I do have some statistics, you guys, and some information we're going to talk about after, but stories are life-changing. So Tara, I just want you to share your story with us.
Yeah, thanks, Faith. Love you to bits. Definitely. We've definitely become sisters over the last 19 months, hey?
It's
For
true.
sure. Yeah, like Faith said, I'm Tara Manning. I live just outside of small town Hannah, Alberta. And two grown kids. I got a grandbaby. I got another one on the way in February, so that's exciting. But yeah, my story, my mission and my advocacy, it pretty much started when I was 15 years old without even knowing that this is the path I was going to go. I was a rebellious teenager and doing all the sneaking out stuff before, but then at 15 my dad, I lost him just to the disease of suicide. And now I hate when people say committed suicide, right? That that's old school. I feel like it's a brain pain, like we're calling it now. So I always say I lost him to the disease of suicide. He was 38 years old, not very old. And in small town Hannah, he was, a basketball coach. He was a town councilman. He was a big part of the community as a business owner. I am really a milkman's daughter, truly. So that day, he was the biggest smile. He was the biggest laugh in town, the loudest laugh in town, and nobody had expected any of, especially what happened that day on October 16th, 1991. And back then, we definitely weren't talking about it.
Right.
That was the coward way out. Nobody talked about it. No, and I was a Catholic church. And that's what I will say, that it was very difficult back then, even in the Catholic church, to, to get him buried, to do all those things. So it was traumatic in so many levels as a 15-year-old. And then, later on.
Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We view it so differently now than, for our family, it was 1987. And it was like the cardinal sin, the ultimate rejection of God's gift of life. In many countries, it's illegal. It still comes with like jail time, all the like crazy. It still does. And so, I can imagine how hard it was because of the stigma that was, especially back then. Like you said, we're talking in the 90s, right? So
right. Early 90s, late 80s. And so also being a 15-year-old, there was nothing for me as a support system, right?
I was 13 and I agree. Like there was
nothing. And that trauma's carried on definitely through me. So the effect a fun fact, but a terrible fact is that one suicide affects 135 people minimum.
Wow.
One suicide affects 135 people in the immediate. And when I think about that, how it changed the town of Hannah, it changed the surrounding community. It changed, all those kids that my dad coached. It
Yeah.
changed his French. Like it impacted so many more than just that 135 for sure. But
Yeah.
and like I said, at 15, there was nothing for me after. And I think that's the
Mhm.
ripple effect. You've lost that person, but then the ripple effect of what happens to
Mhm.
families
Mhm.
after that, to the kids, to the moms, to the dads, to the sisters and brothers, what happens after that is
Yeah.
detrimental, right? Like,
Well, there's so much, there's guilt. First of all, you don't even really know how to grieve. It's the
yeah,
most sudden and shocking thing ever. Like 1 minute they're there, 1 minute they're not.
yeah.
And you don't know how to grieve because part of you's really angry, and then part of you
Mhm.
feels really guilty, and then there's the whole shame because nobody really. Oh my god, don't. Oh my god, do you know that that's like there was so much,
Yeah.
gossip and like there
Mhm.
was no. We don't know mental health like we do now. But you know
True.
what I mean? Like there's
True.
just so many things that we didn't understand. Um and so yeah, like you wrestle with all these feelings of could I have said more? Could I have done more? Could I
Yeah.
have been more? Could I did I, if I mean for me there was a ton of guilt. I was the last person to see her alive, from what I remember, and I was sick that day, and she came out, and she'd been hiding in her room, which you guys, big red flag. Like
Right.
if they are
Yeah.
shutting themselves off and isolating themselves,
Yeah.
big red flag. Okay, and we're gonna go over some of that later, but she came out. She never really came out unless nobody was home. I was homesick, and she just said, "Are you sick, darling?" And I was like, "Yep." Like I just felt like garbage. I was sick home from school on the couch, and like literally that's all I said to her. Yep. And then she
Hmm.
did her thing and she went back to her room. And then after that, she was gone. And so I've had this massive guilt like, what if I'd had one last conversation?
Yeah.
What if I'd taken the time? And that's how everyone feels. What if I
Absolutely.
had taken the time? What if I knew? What if I, and the truth is, the happiest people are usually the ones you need to check on. I mean, you look at Robin Williams, you look at Stitch that
Mhm.
was on the Ellen show. Like these people were
Yeah.
comedians, funny, entertaining people. Like usually the last people you are expect are the ones who are struggling and
Yeah.
suffering. So I wanted to pop in there with that, but please continue.
No, absolutely. It's true. It's, I think, the one with the loudest laugh sometimes has the hardest hurt.
Yeah.
I really believe that now. I think that, when that person's anyway. So yes, I think that, there is a lot of guilt. You've got the extenuating circumstances of a town that's, small town. So you've got
Mm,
the, the hens will cluck, and that's what I say. I don't mean that very disrespectfully, but that's true. It's the
right.
gossip goes around the small towns, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it's small town, big town. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be speculation. So yes, so you know what? 15 years old, nothing, nothing. And I mean, I'm going to say, I don't tell this story very often by any means, but I remember being, at the hospital, leaving the hospital after dad had done what he did. And I mean, I was a teenager at 15, and in small town Hannah, I went and got drunk. Let's face it.
Mm,
I went and I drank my feelings away and got numb. And that night I remember being in my bed and my dad at the bottom of my bed saying, "You've got to be strong and you got to look after your mom and your sister." And that's what got put into my head at a very young age. You
mm,
have to be strong. You have to be strong. I didn't deal with anything. I didn't cry. I wasn't, I was very strong. My mother will tell anybody of my friend group or anybody that she meets is that Tara was the strong one.
mm.
And, that led down to, my own sabotage. Like it
Yes,
was
because that's a
bad.
heavy load. For a
It is.
15-year-old, that is a heavy load.
Right. And it was self-sabotage. And it was like, drinking and the drugs and sneaking out. I got kicked out of school shortly after dad died because the school didn't know how to deal with me. I didn't go. I was looking for love in all the wrong places, very, very young.
Mm, yeah,
I got pregnant as a teen, just turned 18 years old, got pregnant, thank God, with my daughter Megan and my son Colton. They saved my life. I swear to God,
mm,
I'd probably be in the streets of Calgary, probably. But then then I didn't know how to deal with these traumas. So I
yeah,
know that is what affected my first marriage. You know, I was
Mhm.
married for a short time, two little kids, had no idea how to be a mom or how to even deal with the emotions that had only happened 3 years prior, you know? So then it
Yeah.
goes into divorce. And then it goes
Mhm.
into toxic relationships and even worse, gross, the drugs and the numbing and the
Mhm.
alcohol abuse and stuff. So, like I say, the ripple effect that happened after that. And like I said, though, this is how I turn that story around is that, you start to take accountability for your own actions.
Mhm.
Number one. Number two, you start to take, in a deeper look at your own mindset and,
Mhm.
the not the poor me's any longer. And you can't put
Mhm.
this man on a pedestal any longer. And, the anger you have to let go of and you've got to do all the
Yeah.
forgiving. And when I say that I was put on the path of, being a mental health advocate at a young age without even knowing it, that was my
Right.
path. The
Yeah.
day my dad died, I was meant to do this. And I
Right.
truly believe that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and especially when it's a parent, in your case, as it being your dad, I mean, that's huge abandonment feel issues and
Ah.
fears of because I don't know about you, but for me, like looking back, I mean, hindsight's always 2020, right? So
Mhm. Yeah.
looking back, yeah, you see all the signs. You see all the. I mean, I was only 13. You know what I mean? And um, my nana had been had mental health struggles. We knew about them. She was in treatment. She had a doctor, so all the things. She started getting better. She went away on a trip and we were like, "Oh my gosh, like she's turned a corner." And then after that it was just it kind of snuck back up on her kind of thing. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that, and like you said, it affects your relationships, it
So bad.
affects your whole entire life. It affects how you view the world. It affects how you uh,
Yeah.
and there's so much, especially as a teenager. Okay, we're still coming into who we are. We're still
Yeah.
trying to determine like hormones, feelings, thoughts, emotions.
Yeah.
I want to go through some of these stats um,
Mhm.
and things because we kind of want to. I didn't just want to tell stories, you guys, the
Yeah.
stories of like I want to go back to your story as well though, Tara, because I want you to be able to tell people how you turn that pain into a
Absolutely.
purpose,
Absolutely.
and how you're helping people. So we'll kind of go back to that a little bit because there is hope, there is
Yes.
healing, there is, despite the storm, there is life to be lived. Your life matters,
Yeah.
and so I kind of wanted to also put in a little bit of education because the statistics, you guys, are staggering, and we're going to go over some of that real quick. um, this was from 2023 just in the US alone. And I wanted to put this graphic up because I didn't want to just read it to you guys, because I think seeing it and also hearing it, like it's two things, like it's massive. 12.8 million people in the US alone, and this is just in 2023. That was the latest statistics I could find. 12.8 million people in the US alone seriously thought about suicide.
It's so sad.
3.7 million people in the US alone in 2023 made a suicide plan. Because as much as you think it's a rash decision and it's very quick and it can be, but a lot of times they've thought about it long and hard. They've dreamt about it. Some people have written it down. Like
Mhm.
there's a plan. There's
Yeah.
usually and a lot of times they will take their time because they don't want to
Yeah.
do it, but they don't know a way out.
My grandma called it a brain. I called it a heart attack of the brain. That's how I've always gotten through it.
Mm,
My grandma called it a heart attack of the brain. That all of
interesting.
a sudden a switch went off. At some point, a switch was flipped, and it was a heart
Mhm.
attack of the brain. And that's how I've always
Wow.
dealt with
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And so 1.5 million people in the US alone in 2023 attempted suicide. That's not the people that succeeded, you guys. This is just, if you look at those numbers, and to me, like that, it's heartbreaking.
Hmm.
Um, and so let's move on. I wanted to put that out there because I want people to understand, like, we are all part of the conversation. If you think, oh, I'll never have to deal with this, no one in my life is struggling with this, 6 degrees of separation. I honestly,
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I bet that you are.
Yeah.
So, ages 10 to 34, suicide is the second leading cause of death right now in the world.
Look at that age
10
group.
to 24
Look
or
at that age
34,
group.
sorry. Just within that age group.
That's why I say that we got to start this at the very tiniest level of
Yeah.
how to deal with your emotions. What do these emotions look like? Like, this is why we got to
Mhm.
start the conversations when they are littles. Sorry, Faith.
No, not at all. Don't be. The youngest record suicide is 5 years old.
Like,
5.
like what the actual? Like, that should make people so angry that they want to do
Mhm.
something about it.
Yeah.
Like, that is ridiculous. Like, that just,
Yeah.
like, a 5-year-old should not even know about that.
No.
You know?
No. Women attempt suicide much more often than men. However, men succeed 3.9 times more often than women because of the lethality of the way they choose to die by suicide. I shouldn't say choose. I don't want to say that. But the method that happens is far more lethal than the methods that women typically gravitate towards.
Yeah. Yeah.
3.9 times more often men than women. Suicide in 10 to 24-year-olds has increased 62%. It's basically tripled since 2007.
Gross.
Between 2007 and I believe it was 2019 or 20, and then it leveled off at there. It hasn't dropped. It hasn't gone up. But that should terrify us.
Yeah.
That really should terrify us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're in a crisis, guys, far more serious than the pandemic, that all the things. Like, this is a massive worldwide crisis. 720, it's actually 724,000 people die each year by suicide. That's one person every 40 seconds. One person every 40 seconds.
It's mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing. Like, since we've had this conversation, I can't do the math on how many people have died by suicide since we started this conversation. It's like probably 23. Roughly.
And I think that people need to, like, I think it's a wake-up call. I think that, you know, everybody suffers from mental health, and by staying quiet and suffering alone, you're not helping anybody, including yourself. You know what I mean? I think this is the time to get louder and louder. The events of the world are happening. It's just dragging everybody down. The social media, the news, everything. It's you know, trying
this
to
past week I've been like, I can't even open my social media. Like, it's just been so dark and so heavy and so much hate and so much division and so much. I don't even want to get into all those things.
Yeah. So we just spread joy, spread positivity.
And this is why, like, I want these conversations to happen. I didn't start them at the beginning of September because I was away and I didn't have Wi-Fi or cell service there. So the plan was to come back, and I just have people coming out of the woodwork. Like, I want to share my story. Because here's the thing. What you keep in secret keeps you bound. And so if you've suffered through it, are suffering through it, struggling with it, if you have, and you don't raise your voice, we can't help you. Your story can help others because you're not, like, look at these statistics. You are not alone. 12.8 million people have consider suicide in the past year. Think about it. 12.8 million people. You are not alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I already said this earlier. Since 2007, the suicide rate among 10 to 16-year-olds, 14-year-olds, has tripled. Oops. I want to go back to that. It's tripled. Why? Why?
Yeah, we got to
Because
start doing stuff in the schools.
Yeah, absolutely. And it has to start the awareness as well. And that's the next slide I want to talk about. The awareness. So what are some of the warning signs? Guys, sometimes you look at, like I said, you look at Robin Williams, you look at Stitch. He was the DJ for Ellen. Like, that man was so funny, always laughing, always smiling. Terry, you said your dad the same. He always had the loudest laugh, the biggest smile. So a lot of times we feel like there is, oh my God, there were no warning signs. But here are some of the things that you can look for in your kids, your teens, your spouse, your friends, your coworkers. Like, we have all become, and I feel like this has increased since the pandemic. we have all become so interfocused, like being isolated at home for that whole. I was actually shocked to find out that there wasn't a massive spike during that time. It actually declined slightly during that time. And I think that's because people were isolated at home and they weren't alone.
Right.
So there was like, maybe it kind of like a little bit, but we've become so focused on our TVs, our tablets, our computers, our cell phones, we've become so focused on, people wake up in the morning and the first thing they start thinking about is all the things they need to accomplish that they can't get accomplished, like
Get on their
overwhelmed.
phone right away. As soon
Yeah,
as they wake
and
up, they roll over and they're on the phone.
Yes, absolutely. And overwhelm starts before you even open your eyes. Like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get, like, how many people wake up, you guys, like seriously wake up and before your eyes even open, you're already dreading the day for one reason or another. How many people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it has to start. Mental health also a little bit has to start with what you can control and then what you can help others control, and then also getting them help, which we are going to talk about. So negative self-view. If you start hearing people, I mean, there are people that are just inherently negative. I have a hard time being around those people.
Yep.
Because I'm always like, the glass is half full, the glass gets refillable. Like I'm always the positive kind of, and so I have a really hard time, but it's not just that, it's the sense of hopelessness or no hope for the future. And that really is one of the number one reasons that people even consider death by suicide, is because there's no hope. There's no way out. They're in a pit. Like they don't have any hope for the future. And so it's our job as human beings to help them find that hope, to help them see that hope. I'm a born again Christian. I'm a strong believer in Jesus Christ. So that is where my hope lies. Yeah. And that has been a huge help for me getting through my own struggles, the death of my Nana, the things like that's where my hope lies. And I will always, people come to me all the time. Can you pray for me? Can you, and so that for me has been a huge source of comfort and strength. If they start isolating or feeling alone, like I told you, my Nana, like she started to really, really isolate. Teenagers, typically, you guys, they isolate to begin with. You know what I mean? Like how many of us teenagers like, my parents are nerds. I don't want to be around them. And, like there are some things that are natural, but where
in this time and age, like, all these kids are on these phones all day and their computer games and all the things like it. Yeah. It's
aggressive and aggression and instability. Like if the moods and the emotions are just kind of, because there is, and this is, I think why the rate is so high in that age group is because a lot of us feel like, oh, they're just a teenager. It's just hormones. It's just this, it's just that. Like we kind of, I don't want to say excuse the signs, but I feel like in this case, it's easier and better to be overly cautious than have regrets. Possessing lethal means. I remember at one point in our life, there was a child in our life, and I don't want to be specific because I don't want to invade their privacy, but there was a child in our life that started talking a lot about those things. And, that was the discussion. We have to lock up every way that they could harm themselves. You want at nighttime, you make sure that you're close to them. Like we had to go through those steps with this person in our lives to ensure that there was no moment of, especially when it comes to children, because children don't understand the finality. Children watch video games. How many times in a video game does somebody, and video games nowadays, you guys, are so graphic and so lifelike. So you've got this child, they start them, 5, 6, 7 years old. They see someone die and then boop, here's your next new life. Like they don't understand.
So desensitized.
Yes. And they don't understand the finality of what they're thinking. Feeling like a burden to others, like when you reach out and you're wanting to help somebody, and drastic changes in the mood or behavior, frequently talking about death or watching a lot of things that like that perseveration on death, movies, music, TV, books, all the things. What are they doodling in their notebook? Like, self-harm, like cutting behaviors, engaging in risky behaviors, um, making funeral arrangements. I mean, that wouldn't happen necessarily for a teen, but if you've got a partner or a spouse or a friend that suddenly at 25 years old is talking about making funeral arrangements, I'd be asking some questions like, do you have a terminal illness? Like,
Yeah.
where is this coming from? We have to ask the difficult questions. If they start getting into substance abuse,
Absolutely.
addiction is a huge one because it's a huge sign there's pain that they're trying to numb. And addiction doesn't
Yeah.
just have to be substances. There's addiction to pornography. There's addiction to gambling. There's addiction to food. There's addiction to, there's tons of things that people get addicted to try to get that dopamine hit. Making suicidal threats. You always have to take every single one of them seriously, regardless of if it's said in the heat of a moment, in an argument. That happened in my life. At the time, I didn't deal with it well. It was an abusive spouse, and during a fight, they actually said that, and I was like, I called my mom. My mom was our pastor. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know if this is real or if this not, if this is attention, if this is just a way to try. Like, I didn't know. So you need to reach out for help. And sleeping too much. Again, a lot of these things, if you read these, a lot of these are like normal for your teenagers, but that's where you keep the communication lines open. Taking them out for, let's go for a drive. Let's get your favorite Starbucks, whatever. Just listen, I just want 5 minutes of your time. I want to look in your eyes. I want to hug you. I want to, you want to make sure. So there are some, not all, just some of what could be considered the warning signs. Causes and risk factors. So there's a lot of things, you guys. This is not an exclusive list, first of all. Depression. People who suffer depression are 20 times more likely to have death by suicide than 20 times more likely. Mental health is such a massive, massive epidemic, and there is not enough supports in the world for people who are struggling with mental health. And addiction is another one. We said that. Chronic pain or illness. Guys, I went through 3 or 4 years. I'm finally healing, thank God. But I went through 3 or 4 years of everyday chronic pain, suffering, struggling. And it was actually during that time, this is what terrified me the most, was my Nana's choice actually made sense to me. I wasn't having those thoughts myself, but her choice made sense to me. I could finally, after 40 years, I could understand why she did what she did. And that terrified me, that I actually, because I felt that hopeless. And I felt that like, I can't go through another day feeling like this. So chronic illness is a big one. Chronic pain, experience conflict, disaster, violence, discrimination. Guys, disaster, violence, discrimination, like we have so much of that in the world right now. Floods, fires, earthquakes, hurricanes, like everything. Like there is just so much, the rug gets pulled out from your whole entire life. And so those are some of the things that tend to lead people towards start having the thoughts or ideations of suicide.
Yep.
And here's how you can help. A little acronym there for you is, it's called LEARN. Look for signs, empathize and listen. We all need to, I'm guilty of it as well, put down the phone and have a real life conversation. Listen, even if it is your phone, and listen, I had a friend, we both have a friend we hadn't heard from in a while. And it like, I just kept messaging her like, hey, I'm thinking of you. I love you. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I'm worried about you. Like I was just right out there. Like
I was a wreck.
Yeah.
I was just so thankful to, she knows who she is. She's very special. So yes.
And being respectful. And that was the thing. Empathize and listen. Guys, listen, sometimes we're all going through our own stuff. And a lot of times you'll say, how are you doing? I'm good. Like it's an automated response. I've spit that out without even thinking. Like I'm good. And then, but if you ask that question a second time, no, listen, I really want to have this conversation. Like, how are you really and truly? How's your mental health? Because people will be taken aback. Like, oh my gosh, like they don't expect that question. And so having that conversation, asking the question over and over, listen, I love you. I care about you. I just want to make sure you're good. and having those conversations and being willing to listen, to understand, not to solve a person's problem. Just listening to literally be that safe space, that non-judgmental space, that space where they feel loved and cared for, and you're not out to solve the world's problems. You're just literally letting them unload. Because you guys, I don't know if you understand, I'm sure most of you do, when you have something going on that's like stressing you out, worrying you, whatever, sometimes just to get it off your chest and tell it to someone else, like I said, what you keep in secret keeps you bound. And your brain, when that's your main thought, your brain will search for things that emphasize that thought. And so when it plays in your head, listen, here's an example, completely off the topic. Have you ever had something at a restaurant, you were like, oh my God, that was the best deep dish pizza I've ever had in my life? And you think about it and you compare every pizza after that to that one thing. And
you're
then
never going to find a better pizza.
Right. And then 3 years later, you come back around, you get to go back to that same restaurant and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to have the best pizza I've ever had in my life. And then you eat it and it never meets that expectation in your brain. Here's why. Because whatever you're focusing on, your brain makes it bigger and bigger and bigger the more you focus on it. So if you're focused on, I have no friends, I have no future, I have no, like, if that's what your focus is,
you're bringing it in.
Your brain's going to make it bigger and badder and worse because it's just in there swirling around, picking up steam. Just, you know, it's like a hurricane blowing around in your brain. And the more fuel you feed it, the bigger it gets. So empathize and listen. Ask directly about suicide. This is a really good one because that thought, like, really, sometimes just to hear somebody say it out loud is enough for someone to be like, whoa, what? Like, and then they might realize, like, well, I've been having these strange, like, those thoughts start to scare you when they first start coming in, like the ideation and the perseveration, like, it's very scary. And, you know, like, I forget what do they call those? It's a specific type of thought, but the words have left me. But anyways, removing the danger. Again, I told you about in our life, there's a situation where literally things had to be locked up. I had to have the person in my room. Like I was like white on rice, you guys, just literally. And then next level care. So next level care, what does that look like? It's getting them to a doctor. It's getting them to a counselor. We are not qualified to save someone's life. We are not qualified to give them that level of care, but you could be the thing that keeps them from going over the edge and directing them and helping them find qualified care. Right? So that's a huge one. And then I wanted to make sure this is in North America, Canada and the US. 988 is the suicide and crisis line. There's also a website there. And then if you're in a different country, if you just Google, you guys have it on hand, know what it is, so that if you come across someone that you love and care about for your country, just make sure that you know where to direct them, because sometimes it's very shocking and it's very upsetting and, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Just have it ready. Keep it in your phone, have it there. It's like the kids helpline. It's as important as 911.
That's right.
And so there we go. Those are the statistics. Maybe I should have left that up. But so Tara, I want you to tell me how you turned your pain into purpose, because there may be people watching that they've either had a family member, a friend, so many people, guys, there's so many people. Every single person I talk to has been affected by it. And so getting over the pain and the grief and all of that, like, how do you get past that?
I mean,
and how did you turn that into something positive?
See, I wish this would have been this was something that was around when I was 15, right? It's as simple as getting outside, changing your, the movement. Like, what happened is that I hit rock bottom 3 years ago. I was left homeless by a man, and I sold my whole life, and I continued to think positive. I was writing down my goals every single day, my daily goals, my yearly goals, my weekly goals. I had to have make the bed so I can get that check mark. I had to,
Yeah.
like shower check mark. Like there was definitely I had to write things down, and I walked every day. I was out doing a 10-kilometer walk every
Yeah.
day just to
Yeah.
keep out of the off the couch. I mean, for years in my relationships, I was on the couch. I couldn't get off.
Mm,
And when people weren't around, I closed all the light out. I didn't want to talk to anybody, like you were saying. I secluded myself. The dark out blinds were up in my living room, so no sun came in.
mhm.
I didn't want to do the dishes. The sun is coming in right now, so sorry. But
We love
yeah,
the
like
sun these days, though.
right. It was definitely I had to change my mindset and be
Mhm.
stop with the poor me. Really, it was about the poor me dealing with the trauma. Like I was a person that just shoved it away, put it underneath the carpet, and it built up so much that I couldn't eat. Like it was detrimental to the
Mhm.
point where I had to do something about it, or else I
Right.
was going to be living in a cardboard box.
Yeah.
It was something that I needed to really get my head around, get outside. I'm always the person that says get the f outside, and I'm always a person that says change the narrative in your brain. You get to just tell your brain a different story, than if it's telling you that you don't deserve. Change the narrative. You do deserve,
Yeah.
right? It's just a simple switch. Flip that switch or flip that way of thinking to turn it around. And once you start doing it, the easier it gets. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, I, I mean, we're both in the same company, and it's very much mental health, right? It was very much mental health.
Yeah.
I joined this company for the mission bottom line. I had
Mhm.
zero idea there was products involved. When I seen what Barb and Dave went through with their daughter and almost losing her to an accidental suicide, accidental overdose, and their lost family to
Mhm.
suicide, to the disease of
Yeah.
suicide, it was aligned with me. I know that I was put on this earth to advocate for mental health, mental wellness,
Yeah.
I don't want to say mental illness. I want to say I want to like mental wellness. Mental health is important, and
Yeah.
I think that that's what we're doing as a community. I'm
Yeah.
right now. I usually the end of August I start to go into my lows. October is not a great month for me. That's the month that I lost my dad,
Mhm.
and so I feel it without even knowing it. My subconscious just automatically starts going there when the temperatures change and the colors
Yeah.
change, and I'm not a very big winter person with the black and white. I need color in my life. So
Right.
I know that the last winter when I had this community that we have, like like it's amazing. It's like a family over the last 19 months. Like having that support system that we have. Listen, if you like, that's what I say to people. If you're just needing like a community, but the best people but that I've called my best friends now
Yeah.
came from this community we've created. And
Yeah.
I love that, we're working with people that are, huge voices like Kevin Hines.
Mhm.
If you want to see that documentary or that interview that Dave did, get a hold of Faith. She'll definitely pass that on. He's one of the loudest voices right now in mental
Yeah.
wellness, and he's alongside us, which that
Yeah.
I know
And
I'm
he's
in
a
the right
survivor as
space.
well. I mean,
He's you're one of only 36 or 35 people to survive the Golden Gate Bridge.
yeah.
Like that's incredible to me. That man has a story that
Mhm.
is unbelievable. And I'm
Yeah.
so grateful that he was like there's wings. He had angel wings
Mhm.
on every limb that day. I swear to God.
Mhm.
Right? So I am grateful because I choose to surround myself with people that are positive thinkers and that
Yeah.
are changing mindset and changing
Yeah.
the narrative. So I love
Well,
that
and
you get
it's
to
not that we don't
choose.
struggle, you guys, because
No.
there's several of us that have this pact. Like, listen, if I don't hear from you or if I don't
Yeah.
see you on social media, if I
Yeah.
see a switch, like suddenly, I'll be like in your inbox, like, or we have each
And
other's
she
phone numbers.
is.
Like,
And she is. And that's true.
we're
Like
like,
if I don't
excuse
see
me,
people on it, yeah, you're right.
like the first time it happened, I was like, I swore. I was like, I think I called you a bitch. I was like,
Yeah.
listen, if you don't call me or reach out to me or send me like Maybe
It's
we
true.
need a safe emoji. Like, if you don't let me know, like, if you go through that again on your own, like, I'm going to fly out there and I'm going to kick your ass. Like,
And that's true, right? And it's, and that's the thing. When you have people that you get to open up to and be 100% real
mhm,
with, that's everything, right? That's everything to have that support. And I know, like, I know that if I'm not around for a few days, I'm getting phone calls and I'm
yeah,
getting text messages, and that means the world, right?
yeah,
I'm not alone in what I'm going through, right?
no,
Like, we all
no.
suffer.
You saw the
So
stats, like all the, and I didn't even go into the statistics. I didn't even have time, like, just building this whole little thing. I didn't even have time to go into the actual mental health statistics, because
yeah,
those right now are skyrocketing. Like, so many people are
yeah,
struggling with anxiety, depression, mood, like, just being
yeah.
overwhelmed. Like, right now, the cost of living, the politics, like, all of the things that are going on in the world, like, everything is so unknown.
And that's
We
never going to change. That's the thing. Those
Yeah,
things are never going to change. So you got to look after your own mental health
we
first.
have to learn to cope. We
Yeah,
have to learn to, again, reaching out. I
yeah,
promise you. I promise you, if you're somebody right now watching this, or somebody sent it to you, if you're somebody who's struggling and suffering, I promise you that if you reach out to someone close to you, they're going to love on you, and they're
yeah.
going to be grateful that you reached out to them, and they're going to have time for you. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, if they don't, my inbox is open.
Absolutely.
My
Yeah,
inbox is open. You know what? Send me a broken heart emoji, whatever. If you don't even have the words to say, just send me that emoji and I'll
yeah.
know, like, hey. Um, and I'll listen, I'll find the people in your life and I'll be like, listen. Because we have to chase each other down. We have to be, it's not about being accountable, but it's about knowing, like, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Like, I don't, I'm one of those people. I don't care who you are. If I see you suffering and I see you struggling, like, I am going to reach out. I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna talk to you. I'm gonna sing over you. Like, I'm gonna do whatever I can just to get you through those moments. And some of the things Tara was talking about too, like, listen, you're gonna think we're hippie, hilly billy crazy. Go
Hug a
outside and
tree.
put your dang feet in the grass, and you're facing the sun in the morning.
Mhm.
Your mental health, it's huge. Here's the thing, you guys. I'm, like I told you, I'm a born again Christian. I believe the Bible. I believe in creationism. The Bible says that God literally took the dust of the earth and formed it into a human being and breathed his life into that. That is why the water, the air, the trees, the ground, the sun, that is why all of those things have such a massive positive impact on your physical and mental well being, is because you came from that. The Bible says ashes to ashes, dust to dust, right? When you go to a funeral, you hear that. Like, we came from the earth, we're going to go back to the earth. But that is why it has such a massive positive impact on you, your body, your health, your mental health, your physical health, is because you're connected to that from the beginning of time. Like, you're literally connected to that. Get your feet, go drive to a stream, go drive to a pond, go drive, like, put your feet in the water, put your feet in the grass. Listen, if you haven't
Go
hugged
hug
a
a
tree,
tree.
I
Yeah.
laugh because Tara was the one who made me hug a tree first. I was like, are you insane? Like, what? She's like, no, I'm telling. We were in the mountains in BC. We were in the forest. These huge, massive, like, and she's like, have you ever done it? And I'm like, no. And she's like, you got to do it. And I'm like, okay. Guys, I wrapped my arms around that tree, and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a hugger. Like, I need a hug. And I just do, And so when I hugged that tree, I was just like, the peace and the calm and I was just like, thank you, Jesus, that
It's a
you put
scientific
light.
fact that if you are in a stinking mood and you get into nature, when you come out, you're a totally different. It's different.
Yeah.
Your frequency changes. So it's a proven fact. And that's what I do. I call them Manning Mountain Adventures. That's what I
Yes.
do. I get into my
And it was an
nature.
adventure.
It was an adventure. And, I enjoy being able to take you and my friends on those kind of
Oh
trips
yeah.
because they are purely.
We
I
need another
crave.
one.
Yes,
It's
I
definitely
crave
a
the rocks
joyride.
and water. Yeah.
Yes. And this is the thing, you guys, like it has such a massive benefit on your mental and emotional well-being, your
Yep.
physical well-being. Like it really, like, science has proved it. You listen to the birds chirping, you listen to a cat purring, like those things literally will change your, like, lower your stress levels, your stress hormones. It will increase the good hormones and the calm and the peaceful. Like it is scientifically proven to do those things. And I mean, those are the simple things, but I don't want to discount the fact that there are people that need help far beyond
Oh,
just
absolutely.
going out and putting. I don't want to say that. I'm not
Yeah.
minimizing. I don't want you to think that. I want you to know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
And that there is hope and there is help. And like I said, if you don't feel like, listen, I might be a total stranger to you, but I will listen and I will love you and I will sing over you, pray over you, talk you through it. If you don't feel like I can't tell the people in my life what I'm going through, like literally, like I will be there for you. I think you could almost, well, I don't want to say that because the state of social media today and the way people are being nasty and grouchy and all the things. But yeah, community is a huge one. And Tara said it and Tara talked about it. Finding a community of people that make you feel good, that encourage you, that make you laugh. Listen, when you're having a really great day, because sometimes those are few and far between, but when you're having a really great day, I want you to write down, what are you wearing? What are you listening to? What are you looking at? What are you hearing? What are you smelling? Where are you? What are you doing? Write those things down and duplicate that day. Keep it in your wallet so that when you're having a bad day, you like music. You guys, music will help shift you. There's lots of YouTube videos of even just frequency. Music is just frequency sound. There's lots of different frequencies that will help calm you, that will help your mental health. And then reach out and talk to somebody. Talk to your doctor, talk to your mom, talk to your dad, talk to your friend, talk to the mailman that shows up at your door. Like we need to as human beings. And if you're on the other side and somebody reaches out to you or you see somebody struggling, be a dang human being.
Yeah.
And be there. Even if your day is rough and you're going through things on your own, you're not standing on the edge of a cliff begging for somebody to hold you from falling over. And so we wanted to have that conversation. If you're dealing with stress, with mental health, mental wellness, there are supplements that both of us use. This is all I'm going to say about it because this was not about a sales pitch. This was literally about saving a life. But there are things I use, Tara as well, that have seriously contributed to my mental health and wellness in a good way. And we're happy to share that and see if it works for you. We're happy to get you inside a community. We have a VIP group. It's called Feel Freaking Good. And if you just need a community of positive, loving, caring people, just reach out. You don't have to buy a product to be in that group. You could literally be in that group just for the vibe and the people. And so that you know that you're not alone. So Tara, I love you. Thank you for coming on here. We're approaching an hour. So I know that
I gotta get supper on. I need to get some the suppers to the fields. So
yes, it's harvest time out there. So I want to tell you I love you, and I want to tell you thank you for being in my life, for coming on here, for always you have my heart. I love you.
I love you. You're my best.
You guys have a
I wish you weren't on the other side of the freaking Canada. Why do you gotta live so far away?
I know.
Anyways, I love you.
I'm about to go on a world tour, I think, in the next little while. So I'm definitely, listen, I can bring my work laptop. I can just show up out there and
listen, the deck is ready for you.
It's beautiful. It
Come
really
before
is.
all the flowers die. Thanks,
Sarah
Faith.
does
I
a
love
lot of
you.
gardening, you guys. Gets her feet in the dirt, her hands in the dirt, like
every day.
It's such a huge thing for her mental health. And so yeah. But thank you all for joining us. Listen, if you know someone, feel free to send this to you. If someone sent this to you and you're like, wait a minute, what group or what community are you talking about? What products are you talking about? Please reach out back to the person who sent this to you or who tagged you in it, just to make sure you get information. We will ask you those questions if you reach out to us, just to make sure you stay connected to the people that care about you most. And we thank you for joining us tonight. Remember, you guys, victory has a voice. Share your truth, share your pains, share your struggle, and share your triumph.